Us guys, we always know we're like, dude, she's looking, like, dude, she wants me.
Yeah,
and that's kind of our in to come talk to you, right? Yeah. But if that's not happening, like, shoot your shot. Do not be afraid of us. Like, we are like the last people to be intimidated. Like, I hate when I see a girl that's like, oh my God, I'm so nervous to walk up to my crush. It's like, dude, go up to your male crush. I promise you odds are it's gonna go well.
Welcome back, my $1 billion baby. Today is going to be a funny episode, as well as is going to give you a lot of insight into the way that influencer men or hot guys around town that are successful and doing well on how they look at dating and relationships. Obviously, most females want to date a guy that's successful or has things going on, and I thought it would be fun to really dive deep into how these men are thinking. Some toxic stuff, some controversial stuff, and some good stuff you're going to hear, and I think it will give you a lot of insight. So welcome Peter Vigilante and Chase Demoor. Hello, my darling children.
Hello.
Hi.
I love you both. I'm so excited to have you here.
Thanks for having us.
I've been wanting you guys on for a while because I'm like, I know if I bring you guys on, it's going to be funny. And it's just going to be entertaining.
You think I'm funny?
Just a little bit, sometimes. And I think you guys just have a good, now being in LA for as long as you guys have and like blowing up in your careers, you've seen just a lot of the way the industry has worked and dating in LA has worked, and like you guys are both good looking guys on Instagram.
Oh, thank you.
And so I
On
feel like
Instagram.
In real life, too.
not in real life. Not in real life.
And we're also very corrupt from living in LA this long, all right? We're going to tell you all about it.
Yeah, but I feel like it'd be fun to kind of get into like your guys' ways of dating in LA and like giving girls advice on dating, just because I feel like you guys are like at the helm of it all and have seen it all. And you probably maybe went through your guys' fuckboy stage, I would assume, being famous
Yeah, we're
in
totally
LA.
through that part.
Totally done with that
I'm a changed guy.
one. Changed, man. Lana's been saved us, right? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, first starting off with, how's dating in LA from your guys' perspective?
You want to start with one, Pete?
Yeah. I think I'm still figuring that one out.
Yes.
It's very strange here. I feel like also like hookup culture is very rooted in LA a lot, which is something that I tried like stepping out of before I came back here. And now that I'm back here, it's like obviously very tempting, all the beautiful girls. And I guess I'm trying not to get wrapped back up in that because it's so easy to.
Yes.
But people are really cool. If you find like the right groups of girls and stuff, like you could definitely find the right one out here. But I think it might be a little bit harder in Los Angeles, I do have to say.
I would say, me personally, from my experience, is, I feel like in LA, it's all a big clout system. I think there's like levels of certain things. I think for men and women dating here is a little bit different. Men, if you got a nice face, a big butt, okay, it's probably going to take you very far in LA, right? As for a man, if you don't have some sort of notoriety, some sort of clout, it's going to be very difficult to date. And I said this one time to this girl at the party. She's like, oh, like I only date guys that, are, in finance or have a big following or something like that. And I looked at her and I said, well, if you want to know how much money he has in his bank account, isn't it like rightfully so that he also knows your body count? I think that's like a fair trade-off. And she didn't agree with me very much, but I agree with it. If you want to know how much money I make, if you want to know how many followers and clout I have, I need to know, are you under 10 or over 10? Because if we're in Vegas and we're gambling, I need to know the answers to these.
So you think how much a guy makes is similar to the girl's aspect of her body count?
Yeah, I would say like you look at it like I look at it like this. Women like however you want to paint it, it's like a mutually beneficial to both people. Women date guys for status. Women date guys for status. Men date girls because they look really good. You see this all the time with like the sugar daddies and the older. Leonardo DiCaprio is a prime example of this. Dude's girlfriend right now is like 19 years old. It's like a known thing he doesn't date girls under like 30 or something like that. Just like there's no reason a 19-year-old girl should be dating an old boy from the Titanic. He sunk off years ago.
Okay, what makes you look at a girl in a room when you're out and gravitate towards one and not the other?
If she's in a relationship, I'm over there. Like, look, I gotta corrupt this. You got a
Make
pretty
it very
smile and you're
controversial.
happy in a relationship. Listen, just give me a little bit of your time. I just want to see. I'm just kidding, Peter.
I don't know. For me, I feel like it's just obviously first a pretty face. and then not, for whatever reason, like not giving me a lot of attention. Someone that's like I see is very chill, focusing on her girls. I see they're not trying to do the most, like running around, going for other guys. Just someone that I could see is there to have a good time. I feel like that is a good start to see before I meet you. If you probably have like a cool personality, you're chill to be around. And I don't know, that kind of gravitates me towards them. Like them not going for me really. Don't get me wrong, I love when a girl does come up to me, but like, I don't know, something about them not going for me is cute to me.
That's so cool because that was one of my other questions. I've been out with girls that are like very good at like flirting with guys. They'll be like, hi, what's up? Like if they think you're cute, they'll like not be afraid to like talk to you first and stuff. And I was going to ask you guys, do you like that? Or I guess in your case.
Well, I do love it. Like, don't get me wrong, if she's beautiful and she comes out to me, I'm like, wow, this made my job a whole lot easier. But there's something about that chase of like, dude, I gotta get this girl. Like, how am I gonna get up to her and like make it not seem too flirtatious and get her number and close this deal? You know?
Yeah, I would 100% agree. I feel like if they come on too strong, it's an immediate turn off for me because I think if you're coming on to me that strong, and I don't look at myself as, you know, the biggest, you know, influencer, TV person, whatever you want to call it in the world. So it's like, if I look at myself at a certain level, like say on a scale of 1 to 10, and I look at myself as like a 6, like somewhere in the middle, and she's coming on to me this strong, then I can only imagine if I'm in a room full of people that are 7, 8s, 9s, 10s, or if I start dating this girl and I bring her around and then there's Peter Vigilante who's gonna take my girl. This actually reminds me of a funny story one time I had with Peter, where this is years ago. I brought this girl I was talking to, and I remember I was linking up with Peter one time. Peter doesn't even say 5 words. She just walks in. Peter does one take, looks at me, and just starts laughing. It was like a telekinetic, like, well done, James, well done. I was just looking at him like, yeah, you like that?
Saying, yep.
I'm trying to dap him up. Like, look at it. She's cute, huh? You know, it's very similar.
I forgot about that.
Okay, because there's certain girls, and obviously being a girl, I see this side of like when I'm talking to girls, the things that they're thinking when they're out. And like there's certain girls that are like, you know, they're very still like traditional. They want a guy to like come up to them. They don't want to make the first move, you know, like there's those girls still. And then there's the girls that are like, oh, he's hot, I'm walking up to him. And then there's the girls that are kind of like, I guess, in the middle. But like, do you guys feel like you're in a place where if you see a girl is good looking and you're like, oh, they're interesting, you'll go up to them and talk to them even if you don't have mutual friends?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like, but it's kind of about stepping out of my comfort zone as a guy and being like, oh, like I gotta face the possible rejection of it, which, you know, you gotta hope probably isn't gonna happen. But like, it's more of like a nervous thing if I'm not gonna go up to a girl. Like the moment I think a girl's attractive, I'm not gonna stop thinking about how am I gonna get up to this girl and make this conversation. Yeah. I think the real issue is like, how do I make this conversation not awkward from the jump, and how do I make it? I think the real test is like, how do I make it that it's not super flirtatious off the rip? Like maybe I can make an excuse like, oh, like I've seen you here. Like maybe if it's at the gym, it's like, oh, like you're doing this workout wrong. Maybe I could help you out, and then sort of start like a friendly bond rather than just like oh, you're cute. Can I get your number?
You're good.
Yeah, I try my best.
Wow.
Yeah, that's really good. That was fun. I'm not that charismatic. So I think the last girl I tried to talk to, like, it's always so awkward for me because like I don't know what to say, but
it's so hard.
Exactly.
It is.
But I know in my head, like, if I see a really attractive girl and I don't say something to her, I'll have immediate regret about it.
Always.
I'm like, why? Like, what was I scared of? You know, I get it. I'm not everybody's cup of tea. You could be most people's cup of tea. You could be like the Royal English breakfast, but like, you know, some people might think you're green tea. You know, I don't know. But I just remember, you know, I get really awkward when I talk to girls because I don't really know what I'm going to say until I get there. And I remember I walked up to this girl one time and she was like in really good shape. I'm talking like she looked like she hit the gym every day. Like, I was like, man, she looks great. And you know what the first words that came out of my mouth were? So what kind of test are you on? I said that to a girl.
How'd she take that?
I mean, ironically enough, she kind of like laughed and thought I was joking, but you know, I pretended like I was joking, but I was being very serious. But you know, the conversation carried on for a bit. We chatted, and you know, she had like a rippling 6-pack, so she was, you know, kind of, you know, making fun of the way I looked on 2 Out the Handle, and I was just like, listen, how many shows have you done? Like, you know, but you know, it turned out, you know, she used to date like bodybuilders and stuff like that, so she had like a proper nutrition regime and workout routine and stuff like that.
Do you find that intimidating when you know a girl before you've dated like really jacked? Yeah, right.
Bro, like the girl I'm talking about used to date Bradley Martin. I was like,
Jesus.
Like, no
That's
offense.
tough, right?
Yeah, it's really tough.
Yeah.
You've seen that guy, Peter. Yeah. It's tough. He's got more money than me. He's got more followers. It goes back to that hierarchy I was talking about. Like, I'm not winning this.
Oh, jeez.
What was I gonna say? Okay, so if a girl, what would you say to a girl that thinks a guy is cute in the room? What do you think? How do you think they should go about it?
It's so difficult. I think if the guy isn't coming up to you and making that first move, maybe start with some slight eye contact. Let it know, because us guys, we always know we're like, dude, she's looking, like, dude, she wants me, and that's kind of our in to come talk to you, right? Yeah. But if that's not happening, like, shoot your shot. I say this to every girl. Do not be scared of us, man. Like, do not be afraid of us. Like, we are like the last people to be intimidated. Like, I hate when I see a girl that's like, oh my God, I'm so nervous to walk up to my crush. It's like, dude, we're guys. You have nothing to be worried about. Like, go up to your male crush. I promise you odds are it's going to go well.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't, he wasn't the one anyways.
Yeah.
Do you know, to piggyback off of what Peter was saying, I was like, there's no right way to do it, but there's a million wrong ways to do it, I would say. And I would say, like, for example, like, Peter has a massive following on TikTok even before, like, Two Out the Handle. So maybe the first thing, if you're gonna come, if you find Peter attractive and you see him in the party and you go up to him, maybe the first thing you should say or not say to him is, "Oh my God, you do really cool things on a stripper pole," because it comes off a very like fan-like behavior, and like that's very cringe.
Yeah, I love when I feel like a girl's seeing me for the first time. I do like that. That's actually a really good point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard that too. Like, it's weird if they're like a fan and being like, oh, I love this about you. Okay, this was it. I heard something say like the first one that speaks is the one that's masculine. And so, like, the girls that are going up to guys and the guys that are waiting, like, oh, I only let girls approach me, it's like a very feminine energy of a man. And you kind of attract the girls that are more masculine, that are willing to do that. Whereas, like, I don't know. What do you guys think about that?
It's funny. It's so funny that you say that.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
I'm
no.
show you an example.
It's funny that you say that because,
I'll
like,
send this to you.
It starts off as that being the masculine trait, but I feel like once you hit that first date, now it's the more feminine energy to be the one that's reaching out more once you have solidified that you guys are going to start talking. So I think it flips the moment you do start that interaction. So yeah, like the first interaction, that's the more masculine one, the one that's like, let me make this move on this person. But once the move's made, now it kind of flips into it being feminine energy who's reaching out more, if that makes sense.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
So most recently, I was at this Netflix event.
Oh, he's got the chat ready.
And I met this girl. Hold on, we'll talk about this in a second. I met this girl at this Netflix event, right? And she comes out of the bathroom and she was like beefing with this other girl. They were on the show Selling Sunsets or whatever. And she looks at me and she goes, I'm into black guys, but you're not quite that yet. And I was random, like I'm catching a stray, right? And I was instantly like, for me, I'm like, okay, lady, this is good banter. So my toxic self went and approached her and started chatting with her. And she was chatting me for a bit. And then I was asking like what her race and ethnicity was. She wouldn't tell me. So anyways, she ends up leaving the party. And so I send her a DM because I just Googled, you know, who she used to date and what her ethnicity is. And it comes up she used to date like Nick Cannon and Johnny Manziel. And her ethnicity is, you know, Sicilian and Italian, right? So I screenshot it and I sent it to her. And I said, we're meant to be. And her response was, you can't afford me. So going back to your question of the first person to speak is not the more masculine one, this girl humbled me in one text message. You can't afford me. That's insane. I've never been told that in my life.
That's actually nuts. That's so nuts.
I'm so embarrassed. It wasn't even like hey, you figured it out, good job. You can't afford me. Get out of my DMs. You just told me I was kind of cute like 20 minutes ago.
That's crazy.
Humbled.
Humbled.
Oh
Damn.
gosh.
I mean, that's wild. That's the type of shit you only find in LA, though.
Yeah.
It's so not relatable to the rest of the world.
I ain't buying no real estate in this county.
Yeah, that ain't happening in Kansas.
Yeah, we're not in Kansas anymore, Pete. Damn.
Where are you guys both from, by the way? I forgot.
I'm from New York.
Oh, you're from New York?
I'm from Seattle.
Oh, great.
Yeah, it's in the north. It rains all the time.
So different, the dating those places, right? I would imagine even New York, it's way different here.
Yeah, New York girls are a lot different. I still think that I'm like being from a big city, coming to LA was a little bit easier to, you know, integrate myself, but like definitely a lot different still. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like New York girls are more like
Bougie.
really? I was imagining the more like they're straight to the point type of people. They're like
Yeah,
no bullshit type
yeah.
of energy. Like, what are you doing?
Well, Peter's
Either
from like the nice part. You're from like Staten Island or something?
Yeah, which is like 10-15 from Manhattan.
Okay.
So like, which I like because I'm in the suburbs, but then I'm right in the city whenever I want to be.
Yeah.
Which I enjoy.
I feel like you can't fuck around with New York girls as easily as in LA.
Huh. Yeah, probably
I don't know.
not.
That's just maybe the vibe I get.
Maybe
Girls are
not.
more like-
It depends. New York's very big, but it's definitely a very different caliber of women, I feel like.
I just
New York
noticed
girls
one
are too
time-
busy. LA girls are like just available all the time to fuck around with you.
That's actually
Always.
really true.
Yeah, I was gonna say
That's actually a good point.
one time I was in New York and I was in the girls' bathroom and I was like, oh my God, this is so cool. Because all the girls in the bathroom were talking about their job. Like they're like, oh yeah, I closed this deal, I did this. And I'm like, this is wild. I'm definitely not in LA. Like you don't hear that when you're out in the girls' bathroom in LA.
Nobody has jobs
Never.
here. Like, what do you guys do for work?
That's really true. I feel like women are very like more work oriented. Like here, it's like, oh, what's your job? They're like, I don't know. It's like, I think I record stuff sometimes.
I was recently
But
watching.
how do you make money?
Exactly.
Okay. How are you affording this apartment? That's what I'm asking you.
It's 2 p.m. on a Tuesday. Why are you at the gym right now?
Okay, how much does personality matter when you're talking to a girl initially?
Everything. Personality is literally everything, and I had to learn this the hard way because I came from a very long-term relationship when I was younger. I was in a relationship for 7 years.
Wow.
So I came out of that, and I was like, as a guy my whole life, I've been told, like, I'm supposed to go want to sleep with as many hot girls as I want to, right? And there was this one girl that everyone wanted to hook up with, and I had the opportunity to. I went for it, and I was miserable about it. Like, I hated it. A weekend goes by, I'm like, there's something wrong with me. Like, I got to hook up with this girl again. And then after that second time, I was like, oh, it's because we have nothing in common. We have no connection. The personality is just not there for me. And it made even that physical sexual bond just not mean anything to me. So it is everything personality.
Yeah, that's so true. What about a girl like that you meet that maybe doesn't have a good personality really when you first meet them, but is really hot? Would you still keep going? I know Chase would.
I would, but just based on that first experience, like I just know it's gonna end in me being like that didn't lead anywhere. You know what I mean?
What about a girl that like isn't as the hottest girl in the room, but has a great personality?
There's nothing wrong with that.
She's gonna be a great best friend.
You're crazy. You're crazy. She's gonna be a great best friend. Is crazy.
Do you know what, Tara? Like, I actually went to school and I was gonna be a marriage counselor, believe it or not. Like, I was full on like interning.
I don't believe it.
I swear to God. I swear to God. I was working at. This is how I got casted for Too Hot to Handle. I swear to God. Like, I was working at Starbucks and I was interning to be a marriage counselor. I was trying to help people. I was like 22 at the time. Listen. In my experience, what I have learned about the differences between men and women, let me tell you. So women are big on like, you know, they're nurturers, they're caring. One guy is perfect for them. The thing with men is when you talk about personality will take a girl a very long way. Don't get me wrong. But once a guy locks in on that personality and you become like his person or like his woman, whether he sleeps with nobody or he sleeps with like 10 girls, a lot of times is they might just do the hookup and move on from it, but then they have like this mindset that they didn't like them because not so much that their personality was bad, but because they were so attracted to the initial girl's personality, if that makes sense. Like, for example, if I was dating somebody and I got to know them really well and I really like the personality and they're super attractive to me and I'm all about this person, but I'm not dating this person and it's not super serious, and then I go and I sleep with another girl who might just be equally as cool or better looking, I would not switch and go to the better looking girl because I'm initially already attracted to this girl and her personality, which is good enough for me.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say something very toxic.
Yeah, so did I.
Feel better. I'm like,
from where you started.
I was going to be like, so this is what we call toxic.
Yeah, right.
I mean, manipulation is just a game of the mind, isn't it?
I can't believe you were going to be a marriage counselor. That's crazy. There's an alternate reality somewhere where you're just destroying marriages with your marriage counselor, like 100%. Somewhere in the
If didn't go to
universe.
Netflix, it would have been destroying marriages. We're so happy God saved
so, like, that job was insane. Like, you hear about like prenuptial agreement disputes. Like, that was the most.
It's a very depressing job.
Job. I was like, bro, I ain't got no shot. I had a girlfriend of like 6 years. We just broke up. I thought I was gonna marry her. I'm getting ready to go on a reality TV show. Like, I got no shot at finding one.
That's interesting. You guys both had really long relationships. Then you blew up. Yeah. Which probably made you kind of go through a little bit of a phase of like, I'm free. Let me just like have fun. Right? Yeah. I would assume.
Define phase.
Like, oh, maybe you're still in it. But right? I would assume like as a dude.
You know what's crazy? It's like so the moment that we broke up, I had that phase. And it's funny because I grew out of it like right before Too Hot to Handle or kind of coming out of it. Okay. Some like even fans, because they've heard me talk about this, they're like, oh my God, like Lana did like save you. Because that's like the point of the show, right?
Wow,
is like to have that idea that you shouldn't be doing random hookups. And it's like kind of weird because like sometimes I'll sit there and I'm like, did the show actually do that for me? Like,
you kissed my girlfriend on the show, Peter. What are you talking about?
That's what made me realize. I was like, I really fucked over my boy Chase. Damn.
For a game of rock, paper, scissors. The 2 tallest guys in the villa.
Yeah, that's crazy. I don't know how I pulled that off to this day.
But we saw. The world saw.
Were you guys were on the same Too Hot to Handle season?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's funny. And that's how you guys obviously met.
Yeah.
Peter and I were actually the 2 youngest ones on our season. And we come from the opposite sides of the country.
Oh, wow.
I think Peter was like 20 or 21. And
I just turned 21.
Yeah, and I just had turned 22. So it was like a quick.
Wow.
Yeah.
You guys are so young to like go through that and then like blow up in LA and then have to figure out and navigate.
Yeah. Well, ironically enough, Peter and I were TikTokers before we were on Netflix too.
Oh,
so
cool.
we already had like, base following. He always had like way more than me, but I think by the time I was doing,
You still had like 1 million. You were still up there,
I
yeah.
had like
Wow.
1 million
Yeah.
on TikTok before the show had come out. Which
amazing.
back, 1 million now is not as much as it was back when we did 2 Hot to Handle like 4 years ago.
It's still a lot.
What type of videos were you doing back then on TikTok?
Chase you were the football guy, right?
I was the football guy.
He was the best hands-on TikTok guy.
I did that.
Yeah.
I did a lot of that, but like I would also do like I worked at Starbucks and I would make like coffees. They used to have this thing called like a caramel cloud macchiato, and it was just like this foamy coffee, and you could like draw stuff on top. And so I would put like hearts or like my number, or, like my Instagram. And I would give it out to like cute girls that would come through the drive-thru, and I'd make TikToks and videos about it, and I'd be like, "Oh, starting your girl's day off right."
That's funny.
Like,
I didn't even know you did that.
I'll send you some of the
that's
videos. It was
funny.
so cringe, and I'm just sitting there, just like sexually looking at the camera, like putting caramel.
Oh my
like, oh, it was
gosh.
so cringe.
Yeah, for me,
gotta start somewhere.
I did everything on TikTok. I had like 1 million niches, but the main one that I think people remember is I was considered wine guy. I would literally just pour wine all over myself.
No, your mom was big on TikTok with you.
Yeah, I would do like family stuff. Like my mom would get involved. It was
Oh, that's
fun.
cool.
Those were the good old days of TikTok.
Yeah.
When it was easy.
Yeah, right. You just had to get a bottle and just pour it on.
If you don't have a full production
10 million
team now,
views.
you
Yeah,
gotta have
right.
a full production team.
No, literally.
Okay, so what makes you take a girl seriously enough after meeting them that you want to take them on a date? What are like the key signs?
I don't know. I'm still figuring
A
this
date
out,
is
I think.
crazy. If you get
Yeah.
a date, then you gotta be. I would say, there's a lot of factors that play into it. I would say, like, if I talk to a girl and just because she's pretty, and then I was like, oh, what do you do? Well, I don't really work, or like, I do social media, or like I'm a model. Like those things. I'm like, okay, so you probably don't really do a whole lot. You live with your parents, whatever. So you're pretty. You're probably not gonna get a date from me. But if I meet somebody who's pretty and she's like bossed up and she does her own things and she's easy to talk to, so she has the personality, she has a career, and she's attractive. The triple whammy, you might get a date.
For me, it's like, I feel like it's pretty easy to tell once there's a connection or not, but then it goes to me how I view her in the sense of like, is she going to be too like obsessive versus is she going to be too chill? And I feel like there's a middle ground there that makes for a very mutual relationship. And usually it's with a girl that I could tell is like, she's already found herself. She's not searching for too much more. Now she's ready to be in a good, loving relationship. And I think that's what I look for once I know the connection's already there.
Yeah.
And I've made this mistake before because when I got out of my first relationship, heartbroken Peter was like, I want a girl that's going to be obsessed with me. And like, I remember I met this one girl that was just like, the first time I met her was like, I'll delete everything off my phone. Look at the dates on Snapchat. After that, you'll never see anything again. And like
dates.
my crazy brain was like, wow, this girl's going to be loyal to me. And I could not be more wrong. Like this was a girl that obviously had shit she was going to hide. And she was ready with that like manipulative, like, look, I'm going to be so loyal to you. And like, now I've realized that that's too much. So I think it's
Yeah.
about, once you find that connection, it's finding that middle ground, right?
Yeah, that's true.
The dates are crazy. That's insane. I should have thought of that.
So
Damn.
kind of walk a girl through what they can do. If a guy gets their number, from there the guy texts them. How do they be in a place where they can be like stand their ground or gain respect to where it needs to turn into like a date or something where they're being respected?
If I'm going to be honest, this goes for both genders. It's going to turn into a competition of who is texting the least, being the most dry. And I hate that game. Like, I don't want to play that game. I won't play that game, but for whatever reason, that's what it always turns into. And the person that has the biggest text bubbles is usually the one with less power in that relationship, is what I found. And I even caught my buddy last night. I was like, let me see that. I see him sending big text bubbles. And this girl just like, bet, yeah, see you on the date. And he's like, it would just be such an honor to take you on this date. And like, I was like, bro, what are you doing, bro? I was like, delete that.
And an
like, what are
honor
you
to
doing?
take you on a date is insane.
I'm like, bro, but like, it sucks.
Give
because,
me
like,
your man card right now.
We're making fun of it, but like, this is like what used to, like, this is like the chivalry that like people want to bring back. And it's like, it's used to work in like the 50s where you go up to the girl at the diner. You're like, I'm going to take you on a date tonight, sweetheart. Like, that's when it worked. Like, nowadays, you got to play the game like we brought up earlier. Like, not really too flirtatious off the rip. Like, yeah, let's go grab some sushi.
Yeah.
You like sushi? And now you keep her guessing, like, or keep him guessing, like, is this girl like me? And it keeps
Yeah.
that going long enough until they're just obsessed with you.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
The best way I've ever had it for myself, like with a guy, is like I met the guy out at a party. He got my number. Then at the night of, he said to me, "What's your favorite food?" And then I was like, "I like sandwiches." No idea why. It was like 3 a.m. in the morning.
I like sandwiches. It's
He
crazy.
sent me like a meme of like 2 people eating a sandwich,
jeez.
like
That's
pasta. Texted me like the next day like a sandwich spot. Was like, "Are we meeting here or whatever?" And then, but like even after I hung out with him, he was just very like, he never felt too obsessed with me, but he very much was like courting me in the right way. That
Yes.
felt like, for me as someone that I do respect myself, I'm not going to chase a guy. It was like the perfect amount.
That's perfect,
It wasn't
yes.
someone that seemed thirsty. They were just like, they gave me my space. They were like, "Are we meeting on this day?"
Yep.
Then I met with them. Good date. Then it's like, "Great seeing you tonight." Like, bye. Then hits me up again a little bit days after. "Hey, do you want to go on another?" You know, it felt like very just normal.
Yeah.
I don't know. And you don't really see that often in LA. And I talk to a lot of girls out here and they don't have those experiences much. But I'm like, yeah, it's because everyone feels like they're playing games. But I like a guy that like comes after me because that's kind of who I am. But there's
Yeah.
girls that are like, that they will chase a guy, but then they're like, "Well, why isn't the guy taking me seriously and asking me to go on a date?"
Yeah.
And all these things. I'm like, well, because now you seem like you really want to go on a date.
Because like the thing with guys is guys are, I feel like similar to what you were saying, it's like more of a convenience thing. I think
Yeah.
that with the sandwich guy, that's really good. That
The sandwich guy.
Yeah, I like the sandwich guy. He just taught me a next level manipulation. I'm just kidding. Thanks, Dara. No, I think it's really good because in that aspect, it was more so he's willing to take you out during the daytime in the middle of a day when obviously everybody has other things that they can do. And now you are taking time out of your day, he's taking time out of his day, and you guys can join together. Now that doesn't always happen because if you're a girl and you're trying to get a guy to take you on a date, but he only ever is texting you at 6 p.m. to whenever, and then all of a sudden you're responding to him, you're waiting all day for him to talk to you, then in his head, it comes back to, classical condition, we call it in psychology, where it's like, it's a double, positive reinforcement. He knows if he texts you at this time, you're going to reply. And eventually he can keep pushing that later and later and later. Eventually, you come sleep with him. You really kind of don't really need the whole date. The whole aspect of the date thing is like, okay, I want to, either sleep with this person or get to know them. Either way, if it's going straight to the bedroom, then you kind of have, it's more convenient to cut out all the other stuff.
Yeah,
Does
that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. What are like certain things you look for when you're looking at someone on social media that's a red flag for a girl?
Like, I feel like any guy's gonna be like, oh, like they're too showy on Instagram, and it's like, I don't know. I've seen girls that are like extremely showy on Instagram, and then you meet them in person, and they're like way more conservative, and that's just like their online persona. So it's like it's hard to say, and that's why I hate trying to judge people.
Yeah.
Like before meeting them in real life, and that's why I like meeting girls in person now. And like, don't get me wrong, like I'm a guy, I'm gonna hit girls up online. It's still gonna happen, but like I'm not gonna judge them until I meet them in person.
Yeah,
so
that's
to speak,
cool. So there's no like certain things that stand out to you that you're like, okay, this I don't like.
All right, maybe if it's a little too like sexual, like maybe it's gone to like the esque of like porn star esque, and now I'm like, it's a little. And I know a lot of guys still don't care about.
What
that.
about when every single photo's a thirst trap?
Yeah.
I mean, I'd be a hypocrite because like I'm thirst trapping all over the place. Like,
See,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, Peter, you're the last one. Nah, to be honest with you, like I don't even mind so much like the link in bio or like their agency or whatever because I get it. Everybody has their hustle. Like I have an OnlyFans. It's not even that. It's more so if everything like redirects towards it. If your whole personality becomes like your OnlyFans or whatever it is that you're doing, then it's cringe because it's kind of like what you were saying, like too sexual or like too much going on. It's like every picture's just you in a bikini. You don't have like
it shows no depth.
Yeah, no depth. That's what it is. It's like, okay, like you don't think that I can I live at Venice Beach. I could walk down the beach and see a million girls in a bikini. What is making me want to, message you? Now, is that saying like I haven't messaged girls? Obviously, I can't afford one of them, so I have definitely done that. In fact, my DM game is actually very weak. I DM'd Doja Cat once 2 years ago.
Yeah, every once in a while you gotta get like a big one in there. Yeah, see what happens, right?
Do you know what I said to Doja Cat? Look at this. It literally says, "Just trust me."
Come on, bro. What does that even mean?
Wait, I'm just shooting a shot here.
What kind of response? And he didn't even finish with a heart. He started with a heart. Came on way too strong.
This happened April 11th, 2022.
Just trust me is crazy, Chase. Come on, dude.
What would you say to Doja Cat? You don't think she's getting a million DMs?
I'm trying to get in that Doja Cat. I don't know.
Short and sweet, man. Just trust me, because then she's gonna respond.
I just say hi.
Trust you with what?
Your life.
Do you always do a pickup line? Like if you slide into a DM, is it always like something long? Like I just say hi and just wait for a response.
Yeah, hi is good.
What's up?
Hi is not good.
It is, because then they're like, what does this guy want?
Yeah, it's kind of like leaves it. I like
even
it.
if
But
she's
some
got a
people-
boyfriend, she's gonna say hi back, and she's like, "What? Why is he saying hi?"
Yeah, it makes you curious.
Yeah.
Chris
You're
Brown
like,
taught me one time just to say I love you right off the rip. So
all right, but that's Chris Brown, bro. That's C Breezy, bro. I don't know. Like, come on, dude.
Yeah, that's true.
I love you for Chris Brown. Okay,
No,
it's gonna work
honestly-
every time.
honestly,
use
like-
his Instagram. I'm sure it'll work.
the
Bro.
best way to do it. The best way to do it that I found the most success in is like either a story or a reel. I'll scroll through and I'll see something. Say she's at like a restaurant. She's at a restaurant. She's eating something. And say it was like, we've all eaten at Nobu. And I see she's at Nobu. And I would like, say she gets like a sushi platter or whatever. And I'll send it to her. And I'll be like, oh my God, I got that one time. And this was my experience with it. What did you think of it? You know, and send that
just
off.
like talking normal.
Yeah, and it leaves the room open for a more appropriate response where it's not coming on too strong.
And the reason it works is because it looks like you weren't planning to hit this girl up. Like you happened to see something, and it's like, oh, like this, like I have this common thing. We both ate this. Whatever, slide up, and like it looks natural rather than like, oh, he's hitting on me.
Bro, I ate this 2 years ago.
Yeah. Oh, you're going through their old highlights? No, you're crazy.
Not that far. I'm just kidding.
You're crazy now.
Can you imagine?
Say you're talking to a girl, you're first hitting on them, she's talking back to you. Has there ever been any like red flags that have came up that you're like, oh no?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What are those?
Rude to a waiter. Instant turn off.
Yeah.
And I was like, and the guy was very nice. She was very rude to him. Like something like she asked for like no nuts in her salad, and like the nuts were there, and she was like, I told you no nuts. I was like, whoa. How are you going to be talking to me if we're dating? Like, you don't even know this guy. So that did not get a second.
Yeah, that's not a good one.
Yeah.
For me, it would be like one time I was talking to a girl, and every part of the conversation was how she somehow like knew some sort of famous person in some
that's a
way.
bad one.
Like that is so cringe. Like this one girl, she's super nice. What was that?
Name dropping. Who was it?
Oh, well, it's just one girl. I was just chatting with her one time, and she was super cool. And I think I invited her to come play in like one of these like softball games in LA. I was like, yeah, I'll be there, and blah blah blah. And so she calls me up on the phone to get the details. Completely unrelated to softball, she starts talking about how she was super close to Will Smith's son. It was like
Jaden, that's pretty fucking cool.
Jaden, but like I don't. And she goes, yeah, right. And she has like this long sob story about how she's really close to like, you know, he's upset with her right now because she is doing that. It was just like I didn't really like. I'm talking about a softball game and you're talking about Will Smith. So
Yeah,
as
it's pretty
if
embarrassing.
I care about Jaden Smith. You know?
I do. I care about.
Do you
Jaden
guys
Smith.
think it's a red flag to like if you're on a date with somebody and they're like and they tell you like they're actively looking for a boyfriend or girlfriend in that moment?
Yes, I would feel find that weird.
that's
I've had
another
guys
example
like
that's happened
talk
to
to
me.
me when I'm out, and they're kind of like, "Oh, I just want to find a good girl in LA. Like, I just want to get
Yeah.
married. Like, I hate this shit. I just want to settle down." And I'm like, "All right, you're a little like calm.
Too much. Because
We're at Nightingale." No,
yeah.
But there was one time I was out. I think it was at Off Sunset, and there was a guy telling me like all this sob story, and I think he was even pulled up like a baby on his phone.
Oh no.
I think it depends on
really
like
funny.
what the watering hole you're at. Like if you're at the club, that's like a red flag. It's like, why are you looking for like a wife or a girlfriend? You're here at the club, like you're looking for a hookup. But if
Yeah.
you're like in the market or someone who doesn't go out much and they're like, you know, just a normal person, they're like looking to settle down. I think that's like a little normal.
Yeah, that's true. If you're like on a certain amount of dates after a while.
Do you know what? I actually used to give guys a lot of dating advice, believe it or not. And I have like, I know I'm a troll, guys, but listen, I give like some good dating advice. And one time I was having a conversation with one of my friends and my little brother, they're friends, and they were talking about how like they've been struggling to find like dates and stuff. And I was like, well, where are you guys going to look for dates? And they're like, well, he's in college, so he's at these house parties, and they're going to clubs and stuff to find these girls, and it's never working out for them. And I totally told him, I was like, there's different ways that I would have done it when I was in school. For example, when I was looking for a girl to talk to, like I would go and get manicures and pedicures. Like, you go there, it shows that you take care of yourself, and you're probably going to see some attractive girls in there while you're getting a pedicure and manicure. Go get a haircut at like a hair salon, get your hair done. You're probably going to see a lot of pretty girls there. Go to the gym more than you go to the club. There's going to be loads of, go to Target and shop in the candle section. They're literally, a dime a dozen. I'm not talking about the candles either here. Maybe just stay out of the bar, stay out of the clubs. And I think that was, pretty solid advice.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Pilates. Hot yoga. That's where you find the moms.
Pilates.
I was thinking like one of my favorite things I hear from guys that are like in LA is when I hear a guy say like I'm over the hookup phase. That's like an easy way. I mean, it's not good, but it is like it makes girls girls that respect themselves be like, oh, okay, that's cool. Because like so many guys like can just hook up with so many girls, and to me that's like the most unattractive thing. Like if I see a guy sleeping around with everyone, I'm like, I know everyone you've hooked up with. I'm not.
People don't seem to care today though. Like I find that like people don't care, and I'm just like standing back in shock. I'm like, he fucked your friend. Now you're dating him. I'm like, that's like, where's like the morals? Where's the like, okay, like I clearly can't date this person, right? Like that's where I'm just like, what is happening?
Or like the same girl that likes all of your friends' pictures, or like all these
crazy.
Like,
where's the self-respect? Like, I don't know. I don't understand the groups that like all sleep with the same people. Like that never clicked with me.
Yeah.
Because that's like, if that happened in one of my groups, I got to take a step out of that group.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, what are we doing here, guys?
Once she
like,
enters the chat, once she enters the group chat, it's like, okay, like, she's done.
What makes you ghost a girl?
It takes a lot. If I ghost a girl,
get my list.
You fucked up, big time. Like you gotta do something crazy. Like you gotta, like especially like 'cause us, like we're in like the social media sphere. Like if I see a girl that kind of like I hook up with, and then maybe she's like starts posting like pictures of me and being weird, and like we're not even dating. That's the only thing that would lead me to like ghosting. It's like, all right, what are you doing? Like, that was a bit strange. Or you have to really screw me over, or like cheat on me. Like for me to ghost you, it would take a lot.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like if a girl did something, because usually you would just tell them like, hey, I'm not interested right now. You'd be the type that would tell them.
I'm not the type to just ghost somebody. I'll be straight up. Like especially if I meet somebody else and like I don't want to do hookups anymore, and I'll let them know, be like, hey, like I met somebody. What we had was great, but I'm not going to move forward with you. Like, I'd rather do that than. Also, I found that ghosting girls can make them insane, and they will try to ruin your life. So it is not good to ghost girls.
I know what you're talking about.
I'm gonna get off my high horse of like, oh, don't hurt the women. Like, no, like a lot of them will try to destroy you. Man. So don't ghost women. I've learned that a couple times.
They're just in Peter's comments like, he ghosted me.
Yeah, I know, right?
That piece of shit never spoke to me again.
What about you, Chase?
Man, let me go through the list. I gotta come for this. Drives a white car, ghosted. Lincoln Biles, ghosted. Snapchat, goes to TanaCon, ghosted.
Oh my God.
Spent a weekend in Tulum, ghosted. Goes to Miami, wake up at 3 p.m., ghosted. What are you doing on the Catalina? Ghosted. Nobody took you to Bali. You're also ghosted. Works out at Equinox. Oh yeah, she gotta go. Like, I see those Snapchat streaks. Oh,
the streaks are crazy.
You're gonna be about as big of a ghost as that Snapchat icon. I'll go down the list for days. Hops on every podcast, ghosted. Claims to be a fitness influencer because they brought a camera to the gym one time at Zoo Culture. Ghosted.
Oh, you love them. You love them. You stop it, Chase. We know you love those fake influencer chicks.
Only does leg day? Ghosted. Sorry, if I'm being 100% genuine with you, the worst age to date anybody, especially males, is the ages from like 26 to like 31. Those are the worst ages. Do you want to know why those are the worst ages?
Why?
It's because now like guys have a sense of realization that they are getting older. They're not 19, 20, early 20s anymore. Now they're like, I don't know how much time I'm going to have to do all of this, still be young and attractive to do this. So then they have like a quarter life crisis, and that's the hardest demographic to date in. If you went out and you found a 28-year-old that's a social media star, that has a lot of money, that doesn't party, that is all about you, then you better marry him right now, because that's that thing. That's a unicorn right there. We don't have those. All right. I'm so sorry to bring you into this, big dog.
I don't know. What do you think you're gonna be doing at 50 then, if you're not gonna be on the yacht with all the pretty girls?
I'm gonna be on that damn yacht. Don't you worry. I'm not talking about me though.
Oh my gosh, dude.
I'll be on that damn yacht.
Yeah, it's crazy. Not me. I can't be. There's no way.
I'm gonna drag you to the yacht.
I think I'm gonna end up being like some monk at like 50. That's where I see myself.
Please don't shave your head.
I'm so serious. I was this close to like a year ago just becoming a monk.
Wow.
I'm not even kidding. Well, that sounds crazy, but like I saw the peace in it of like,
Yeah.
just because like, I don't know, I've been a big proponent of just like letting go of things and like realizing that letting go doesn't mean giving up, which is a huge thing that I learned, that it just takes the stress off of your work. And I was like, wow, like imagine being a monk that just doesn't have to worry about anything. His life is just about peace and spreading peace. So I think at 50, I'm just going to be eating a bunch of mushrooms as a monk in the mountains.
That's so funny.
Just
I always say, I'm like, once I'm like finish everything I want to do in my life and success and build myself to the point where I don't have to work, I'm going to become very spiritual and be like, okay, why the fuck is the point of life? Yeah. You know, because then what else do you have to do at that point?
You're gonna become a
Now you're just chilling, you know?
I think that's the goal though, is like reaching like your higher spiritual self.
Yeah.
And I struggle with it because like I'll be reaching it and then I like the line of work I'm in, it's so hard to be like super spiritual and then, you know, be around these people and in this industry. And it's sort of like a constant battle with myself of like, what do I pursue?
Trust me, I know.
You know what I mean?
And it's not, and especially for your guys' industry, you're like someone that has to be like entertaining and you talk about funny shit and like.
Which is a struggle for me.
Yeah.
It is, because there is that like funny sexual side of me that I love to share and it's like so viral and my fans love to hear it. But then I'm also sharing like information like this, and then a lot of my deeper fans are like, Peter, we want to hear you talk about that more. And it's like that sort of spiritual warfare where it's like, what do I really want to share with people? What do I really want to do? What do I really want to work on? And I think it's more so what I found recently is finding that middle ground. There is that sexual funny side to Peter that is okay to share, but there's also, you know, informative spiritual Peter that is also okay to share.
That's why with my podcast, I had that when I was first developing this. I'm like, I know that I'm like, have a ton of influencers I know and I can talk about tea. But at this end of the day, like, is that really what I care about?
Is that going to make you happy?
It's like not real. It's fun to hear once in a while, but it's like I'm not like so fulfilled by it. Yeah. So I was like, so what I really thought of is like, I'm just going to be able to talk about all different conversations, have it be spiritual on some episodes, and then have it be entertaining and funny sometimes too.
Absolutely.
So you can like mix and just like, there's no rules.
Absolutely. You know? I love that.
Yeah. Okay. What would you guys say is, how would a girl know if a guy's a fuckboy or not?
It's pretty obvious.
I would think so, but some girls don't know. Like, I've literally been with girls that are like, I can totally tell that a guy is a fuckboy, and they've been like, I don't know why I don't know if he likes me or if he wants to ask me on a date. And I'm like, what do you mean?
You don't know if he's a fuckboy. He's 6'5", strong jawline, goes to the gym every day, drives a Lambo, has 2 million followers, and likes every girl's photo. And you didn't know he was a fuckboy. You thought he was a genuine guy. His name's Peter Vigilante.
I'm not 6'5", bro. I don't know what you're talking about. Dude, yeah, it's hard. It's, you know, I can't judge the girls because like a lot of these guys are really good at like, especially the ones that have been around the block. They hook up with a lot of girls. They know what these girls want to hear. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like,
if they tell you
I get it.
If they tell you everything that you want to hear, then they're probably a fuckboy.
Yeah, like too smooth.
Yeah, like something's off here. Like you're telling me you got no flaws. Oh, so what's your party life like? Oh, I don't really party. Okay, you don't drink? No. You don't do drugs? No. You don't talk
These
to
are all
any
green
girls?
flags, Chase.
You got a lot of. So you mean to tell me? Hold on. Hold up. So you mean to tell me that you don't do none of that stuff? You got no kids. You're financially stable. You're very attractive, and you don't have a girlfriend? Come on. At a certain point, it's not their fault anymore. At a certain point, like.
But there's different kind of fuckboys. There's like the fuckboy that like has a girl, has a couple girls, and like they're like, you know, hitting you up at the wrong times, being sneaky, and like that fuckboy. And then there's the other fuckboy that like is hooking up with multiple girls and you're just making you just one of them. And I think it's weeding out which fuckboy you're dealing with.
Yeah, that's true.
You know,
that's a good point.
And there's different types of fuckboys.
Yeah,
that's problem number one. And then we go from there. Which one do you got?
That's a really good. It's a good point that you make that because there's the open one that's like, I'm gonna come to you, I'm gonna talk to you. You know I sleep with all these girls. Yeah. I'm probably gonna try to sleep with you too. And you can make the conscious decision, like, you know, like, what did I used to say? I used to make a promise. I was like, two things are gonna happen. Your heart and your back are both gonna get broke. Whatever order you want that to happen in first is your call. But it's being funny. It's being funny, and they take it as a joke.
They do.
But I'm being very serious.
Like, I
I'm being
wouldn't
very
say
serious.
this if I wasn't serious.
No, I've told multiple
pay
girls
attention
I'm
to
gonna
the red
break their
flags.
hearts. Yeah, or like listen to us. He just said I'm gonna break your heart and then your back, and they're like,
They think you're
it's
joking.
like, yo, he's not kidding. And like I've even told girls like, don't hook up with me. I'm gonna break your heart. And they're like,
Yeah.
okay. I'm like, I'm not kidding. Like,
Or they hit
probably,
you with the.
but like I'm honest about it. I'm like,
Yeah.
like I'm in no position to be dating right now. Like it's not gonna happen. But here's the issue: when you say that to a girl, it makes them want you more. I found that it's the guys that are like off rip, like, oh, I would date you, and like they haven't even kissed the girl yet. It's like, dude, relax. But the guys that are like, yeah, I don't want anything to do with you. It's like they fall in love with you. So like I almost don't even want to say that if I'm not like
Exactly.
like if I don't want to date a girl, it's only gonna make them want me more. I found.
Or they
That's
come
the
to
problem.
you. They come to you and they'll
Yeah.
be like, but you said you were different. I am different. I'm
I thought
worse.
I could change you. I thought I could.
I'm worse. Like,
No, like I've had girls that have like we've been talking for a couple months because I'm very monogamous, so that's the issue. So like these girls really fall hard for me because what I give them is what usually like a past boyfriend has given them, like because I'm so monogamous, like I don't hook up with multiple people. So like I don't know when I start saying I'm probably gonna break your heart. Like be careful with me. I'm very honest. And then 2 months in, they're like, did that change? Like can that change? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. I did tell you.
I did tell you.
Like I did tell you. I'm just being honest. Like fuck. I like you too, but I don't know.
It shows that you're secure. I think that's why it's like it's attractive to a girl. They're like, oh,
Yeah.
but he's not like he's being honest, and then it like they're like, oh shit, maybe I
Yeah,
should.
and
look
it's
into
that chasing
that's
aspect.
true. Then they're like, is he a fuckboy? Because now he's being honest.
Yeah.
So maybe he's a good guy.
At a certain point, it's not their fault
But you
anymore.
have to really, I think the point of the story is for girls listening, you should just really listen to what men are saying.
They'll tell you what they're
Yeah.
doing. They will.
Yeah.
They will.
Like-
And their actions and what they say is like, yeah.
Did you not see me like your friend's picture? Are you-
Yeah. It'll save you a lot of heartbreak if you stop ignoring the red flags right off rip. Like you're gonna see them. We've all seen them. Every relationship I've been in, I've seen the red flags. And it's like,
Do you know what
what
the
I mean?
first-
Like just look at them for what they are and be like,
Yeah.
this person's not gonna change. Especially if you just met them.
I feel like also a good one for girls to see is like if a guy is also hitting on other girls when you're out, like when you're
that's
there.
crazy.
That's like a very obvious one. But they're like,
Yeah.
oh no, he's just being nice to my friend. I'm like, no, he's hitting on her.
No.
hitting
You know what? It's like I used to say hide in plain sight all the time. You know, and what I mean by that is like when I would talk to like, for example, when I first moved to LA, I was talking to a few different girls. And I'm not my proudest moment because some of them are more popular than the others, whether they're in our agency or not. But I used to do this thing where, for example, Saddle Ranch was really big, and I would invite everybody to a dinner. But say like I was talking to, girl A, girl B, girl C, and girl D, like 4 of them.
Jesus.
Let's just to say like
Bro's
I
got the
was.
whole
Let's just
alphabet at
say,
dinner.
which
I'm not-
is what
let's
happened.
just say.
Because listen to what he's saying.
But like I wanted to hang out exactly. I want to hang out with them each. You know what I mean? So like what I would do is I would go book a table at Saddle Ranch for like 13 people or something like that, and I would just sprinkle my friends in there too. So I'd invite like Peter or like Marvin or like a Harry, somebody there. So once I put everybody essentially at this dinner, now I can migrate around the table and I could talk to everybody equally as a friendship, but realistically, like all the girls there thought that they were on a one-on-one date.
You're crazy,
Jesus,
dude.
that reminds me of promoter vibes.
That's a good test because then you're at the table and it's just like which girl's actually giving you attention and like giving
And you can see how
yeah.
they respond to your friends. I used to think this all the time. Like, I might be doing it, but now I can see if you're doing it because the difference is I know that I'm doing it. You don't know that you're
Yo,
doing
you're
it.
so nuts, bro.
You are crazy.
Four of them at the dinner. He's like, I'm testing these girls, see if they're right for me. He only got 4 of them on a date
What
right
means they're right for you? The girl that just like was waiting for you to talk to them and is not having.
No, it's like, for example, like I've been out with Peter before, and Peter's been by himself, or like I've been with a girl, and I see like how they have a conversation. As far as like, I know Peter's not hitting on this girl, but like I will be able to tell if the girl is really trying to push to get Peter to like, really speak to him or like talk to him or something like that. And she's just like having like a normal casual conversation, like fine, whatever. But if she's like, oh my God, I love your watch. You're such nice girls, like stuff like that. Like, okay, well now
No, it
I
is
just
a
went
big
from
red flag,
A through
yeah.
D, then now it's A, B, and C, and D your way out of here.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying, bro. But I've even had worse where it's like friends' girlfriends that are like being a little flirty with me.
Yeah,
I'm
I've
like,
heard
Too
that
much.
before.
I'm like,
guys.
damn, bro, you gotta
Yeah.
get away from this girl
Oh.
because I could definitely hook up with her right now.
How do you
I'm
tell
not
your
gonna.
friend though?
Dude, your girlfriend's trying to fuck me, but like you can't. Like you can't.
Yeah,
How about
right,
I've said
Peter,
that?
you have
How
a
about
big
I've had
ego.
to? How about I've said it and
You
the
have?
kid actually took it really well.
Oh,
He's
wow.
Like, no, she's been a little weird lately. I'm like,
I didn't know.
I'm like, you gotta break up with her, dude. Like she was like the way she was talking to me was not okay. How about I didn't even know it was his girlfriend until he was like, oh, this is Cassidy. Like, nice to meet. I'm like, wait, this is your girlfriend.
Oh.
I was like, we were just flirting. Thank God you stopped this. Like,
Thank God you
this is
stopped
bad, bro. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, shocking.
That's
And they did not last.
wow.
A funny story that I did.
And they did not last.
I'm a good
just
friend
in
though. I
case
didn't hook
you
up with her.
were
She was pretty too.
Oh my God. I was thinking like this one story that I did was like bad on my part because I'm an idiot sometimes too. And I remember I had actually planned a date with one of these girls and I brought Nathan with me. And like,
Oh, there you go.
and I brought Nathan with me and like I'm so stupid because one of the girls didn't want to go out. She's like a pretty popular
God, I heard this story.
influencer. You heard this?
Oh, it's
Yeah.
gonna be horrible. Wait till this ends.
She's a pretty famous influencer. I thought like I'm not gonna drop names because you actually know her, Tara. But I liked her probably the most, and like we spent like a nice weekend in EDC together back when they did in October, and she like lived in like some mansion in the hills. Like she's really popular, and she was like really slow to respond to my text messages. Obviously, she's like really busy and stuff like that. She wasn't feeling that well or something, and so I had made a plan to go on a date with these two other girls. Mind you, I've only been talking to her for like maybe like a week, 2 weeks, nothing like super serious yet. And I remember like I was planning to go on a double date with Nathan and this other girl, but I was also talking to this other girl. So basically what my stupid self did is right when we were getting ready to go on the date, Nathan shows up to my house to drive everybody in his big old truck. And I got a text message from the girl and she was like, hey, I'm not feeling that well. I would just like for you to like come over and hang out, like super calm. And so immediately I was like, heck yeah, I'm gonna do this. So what did I do? I didn't tell the girls that I was doing that. I basically said, hey, you guys just ride with Nathan to the restaurant and I will meet you guys there. I have to go do something really quick and then I'll meet you guys there. But I left my location on my phone, right? And Nathan has my location, right? So Nathan now is taking the girl that he's supposed to go on a date with and then the two girls that I invited and they go to the restaurant that's a reservation under my table. So now they're sitting there. It's just Nathan and these three girls that don't even know each other, all sitting there waiting for me to get there to have this restaurant. Meanwhile, Nathan checks my location and sees me in the Hollywood Hills at first girl's house until like 3 a.m. And then I turned my phone off, and then obviously he didn't know where I was at after that. But anyways, I got back the next day, and it was just like a whole nightmare of a day, let me tell you. Yeah.
So everyone should watch out for Chase.
In fact, I think that was the
That's the
first.
moral of the story.
That was the first.
That's not
like,
even the worst story with Nathan.
Yeah.
Dude. Have you ever, Nathan, Chase, can I ask you, have you ever stolen one of your boys' girls that he's brought on a date in the same room as them? Have you ever done that, Chase?
No.
Nathan should fucking hate you, bro.
Okay. That wasn't my fault either.
I don't know. That story was fucked up.
That wasn't my fault either. He's the one that was drunk, passed out in the freaking closet.
Oh my God. Yeah, and he's got to look out, drunk, passed out, and see you hooking up with the girl that he brought.
Oh my God.
Dude.
Yeah, that wasn't the best moment either.
Imagine you're blacked out. You invited this girl on a date. You look up, and she's now hooking up with your boy on the bed. You're like, no.
She was like bent over, staring at him. I'm behind her, and Nathan's passed out in the closet, just like looking like this.
Can you imagine, bro?
How about the next morning having to have breakfast and talk about that? How about Nathan never lets me live it down to this
Bro,
day?
I wouldn't. I wouldn't.
How about he caught a flight from Dallas to Scottsdale, Arizona, just to see that girl?
What?
Oh, I love Nathan to death. I'm so
It's
sorry.
so horrible. It's so horrible.
Funny. When are you guys going to settle down after all these girls listen to all this?
Yeah, Peter, when are you gonna settle down?
I don't know. I don't think that you need to put a timestamp on it.
I agree.
You know what I mean? I think if you're looking for something, you're not going to find it.
That's
And,
true.
That's fair.
When it comes, it comes.
Yeah.
I got a couple more dating shows in me before I'm ready to hang it up. Perfect Match, Two Out the Handle, all the ones I've done. It's never me. It's always been them, to be fair. I tried.
Okay, let's play this or that. So this will be funny. So would you rather a party girl or a homebody?
Oh,
Homebody.
Absolutely.
Wow. Okay. Would you rather an influencer or a normal girl?
Normal
Yeah,
girl.
normal girl.
Okay.
It depends though. Like an influencer that is like in the same field as you could like work off each other. And
Yeah.
But even that could be hard.
The one influencer that I tried with, bro, that was like a nightmare because it was like a battle of like who was doing what, who
yeah.
like getting more views.
I'm not even worried about that. I'd be more worried about like it making the relationship feel inauthentic because I see that happen with a lot of like couples where like it's like, is this date because you love me or is it because you want to get the video out of it? And like it just makes their relationship become very inauthentic, I feel
And other
like.
people
that's
have
true.
like 2 cents in it all the time.
Yep.
Like,
Yeah, it's hard. A model or a nurse?
a model.
Which
I
one
heard
would you rather date?
nurses are the biggest.
Either or.
Either or.
Either or.
Girl from LA or girl from Middle America?
Middle America.
Again, either or, it depends.
Aren't they all from somewhere else anyway?
Yeah, if a girl from LA isn't really from LA. She might even be from Middle America. There you go.
Boys' night or date night?
Oh, it's boys' night. I'm
Yeah,
always.
boys' night.
Peter gets my text message every night in the game chat. Like lobbies.
Sex or a deep conversation with a girl?
A deep conversation.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
No, he's like, I feel like I have to say
Deep
that.
conversation during sex.
a really deep conversation. I'm not talking with my mouth.
What feels better to you that you would rather have, going viral or falling in love?
Viral. I'm going viral. I'll break her heart. If I was on Love Is Blind, I told I told literally Netflix this. I'll take her all the way to the altar just to say no for the clip. I swear to God, I would take her. I would sell the dream like a car salesman just to get to the altar and be like, "Psych, you just been punked. Where's Ashton Kutcher?"
Jesus, Chase.
I'm just.
I don't know. You can't compare love to like a quick viral dopamine hit. Like it's like so much more like real love, like real falling in
Who
love.
have you been in love with?
All right, Chase.
I'm just kidding.
Come on, bro.
Right.
You know what? I'm looking for it. There you go. Like, come on. All right, going viral.
This goes back to the how about the I'm out of my hookup phase. This is that.
Okay, so tell us about your guys' podcast and where they can find you guys if they want to go through some shit.
Oh, yeah. You can find me everywhere, Peter Vigilante, or just look up Not So PG. That's the name of my podcast. And it's been a lot of fun.
That's
So
a really
check it
good
out.
name.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, his podcast is actually wild. I
know,
I
it's
listen to
funny.
it in
You
my
would never
free
guess
time.
based on how I spoke on this podcast,
know.
too. It's like I have 2 different personas based on if I'm doing mine or something.
listen
But I
to
like
his
that
stuff
you'll
all
just
the
say
time.
some shit. Like, you'll say some, like, shocking things, but it's good. You'll be honest.
Oh, he says some crazy stuff.
Yeah.
In fact, I took advice from you one time and got my
Oh, which
TikTok live
one?
banned.
Which one?
I don't want to talk about it. I'm
Okay,
still
yeah.
banned.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that stuff on TikTok Live. YouTube's okay with it.
Yeah, no, you can find me. I run an unscripted podcast. It's called Unscripted. I have a great host, Gabrielle. We talk about all things from dating to pop culture. I actually give great dating advice. You'd never take that from here, but she also gives her dating advice as well. So, Unscripted.
Amazing. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for coming on. I love you both.
Thanks for having us in
having
your
us.
It
bed.
was fun. You guys can sleep here, and I'll see you guys later.
Sounds good.
Thank you, my $1 billion baby, for listening to today's episode. You know that I read all of your comments and they mean so much to me. So please let me know what parts of the episode resonated with you the most and what you want to hear about next. And I'll see you next week.